Hello, it's Ukulele Says, welcome to another video. It's Time by Imagine Dragons, their first hit single, and a song that I always find one of those kind of nostalgic songs. And listening back to it and deciding to do this with my kids' classes, I realised just how fun this song is and how cool an arrangement it is as well. So let's jump in because I am buzzing to get started on this one. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a little like. You can leave me a comment, tell me what it is you like about the video. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be updated each week whenever I release a new video. And if you really like my stuff, you can check out my BuyMeCoffee page, where I give you access to all of the additional lesson materials and resources that go with each lesson, including group arrangement tips. You get all your riffs, you get your song sheets, you get play-alongs with some of the trickier parts, and I give you challenges for each song as well to help enhance your learning and development. And I also do a once a month live monthly lesson, so you can check that out too. I also have a cool little discount code for Noisy Clan. I don't have the sheets with me, the decoder with me today, but they do lots of cool music tools and resources. And if you use the code SAZUK, you get 20% off any Noisy Clan product. So go and check them out too. I will be sharing some videos on those very, very soon, showing you how to use the decoder and the cheat sheets. So very exciting. This song is in the key of D major. We are going to need the chord D. We're going to need E minor. Now if E minor's a wee bit tricky, we can play E minor 7 here on fret 2, or we can bar fret 7 either with 4 fingers like this, or you can just do the bar chord version of that. So whatever you like, if you want to put yourself out your comfort zone, you can do so too. So that's D, E minor, we have G, we've got A, and also B minor. Now you can play B minor 7 just like E minor 7 but on fret 2. You can also use just 3 fingers, but that's kind of cheating. And then you can also bar and put your finger on the top string of the 4th fret, like you can see in the chord diagram. So just choose a chord that works for you and use that chord. So those are the chords that we're going to need, and we will come back to those because more importantly, we have the intro to do. The intro of the song has got 3 parts that we are going to include anyway. There's the clapping, which actually occurs throughout a good chunk of the song. We've also got the riff, which again works really nicely with the clapping and goes up for lots of the song. And then we've also got the chords. Now, your clapping pattern sounds like this. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that repeats over and over again. And that will repeat over and again. Now, you want to practice that as a group over and over, but I'll get to that in the group arrangement part on the additional section on my BuyMeCoffee page. You can check that out. So that's the clapping, and it starts with that, and then the riff comes in, and we're going to go over the riff as well. So the riff can be played in 2 places. It can be played on the A string on frets 5, 7 and 9, so that's D, E and F sharp notes, and it sounds like this. You can also play it on the C string on frets 2, 4 and 6. I prefer to use these fingers. You can decide on how you would like to play that. Again, if you're playing in a group, it's nice to have different people doing different things. So the song starts with the claps, and then the riff. And then we are going to strum along to the claps with the same rhythm. exactly when you're practicing at first if it's a bit tricky, but eventually you want to emphasise 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So practice that again nice and slowly, and eventually you'll have this really cool sounding intro. Now the clapping and the riff take place even throughout the verses of the song, so they still play along in the background. And the verse chord progression goes like this: 1, 2, 3, and this is what you meant when you said that you were spent, and now it's time to build from the bottom of the pit right to the top. Don't hold back, packing my bags and giving the academy a recheck. The strumming, I was just doing single strums there, but what you can do is just down strums, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm not going into rhythm in too much detail for this song, purely because there's so much else going on with the clapping and the riff, that I think it's nice just to strip the rhythm pattern for the ukulele back. So you can just do either down strums or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to build it up: single strums, 4 strums, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and strumming. So take your time with that as well. So your verse, 1, 2, 3, it goes D, D, A, B minor, G, and then that's the exact same thing for the pre-chorus. So 1, 2, 3 and D. I don't ever wanna let you down. A, I don't ever wanna leave this town. As after all, the city never sleeps tonight. And you can either pause there or you can strum through that. I like to pause for dramatic effect. The city never sleeps tonight. And then we get to the chorus. The chord progression is below. We follow the same rhythm and we go like this: 1, 2, 3 and D. Time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. Again, with all the down strums. You can strip it back to time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. And then at that point in the chorus, there's no clapping, no riff. It's all just the voices and the ukulele and singing and strumming it really powerfully. I like to go a little bit louder, be a bit more dynamic at this part as well. And then go straight back into an instrumental, which is the chords of the verse, but with that riff and the clapping as well. So and then it repeats for verse 2, pre-chorus and chorus, exact same as what you did for the first part. And then we've got our bridge. So you've got B minor this time, again with the down strums. This road ever looked so lonely. This house doesn't burn down slowly to ashes, to ashes. So for most of this song up until this part, we've been playing 2 bars per chord, but in the bridge you've got the G, E minor, and then 2 bars of G. And that bit of the song, again, the clapping stops and the riff stops so that you can really focus on the bridge. And I like to just slow it down and just do down strums. Just to make it a bit more dramatic, to bring it all back, to slow it right down. So that's a really cool part of the song. And then after that, we go into 2 choruses. Now the first chorus is just an a cappella. So you've got, it's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit, and so on. And then you build it up and you do a second chorus where it all comes back in again with the strumming. Time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit. You get the gist. And then to finish the song, you finish with the bum bum. With no riff. So lots of different wee things going on there. Now, if you're in one of my classes and you're learning this with me, we are going over this all in extreme detail. This video is just a little guide and I'll show you a play along. But if this is something that you're looking to do, particularly with a group, then I have put this whole arrangement and what comes in and what part. I've got that all written out on my Buy Me a Coffee page, so you can check that out as well so that you can see that written down in detail. And you can also play along with the riffs on my Buy Me a Coffee page too, where you can play along with them at different speeds on the metronome. But for now, let's do a play along. If you would like to hear this being played by a group and hear an example of what it sounds like, drop me a wee email, send me a wee request, leave me a comment, and I'll see what I can do. 1, 2, 3, don't look back, turn into rags and giving a commodity arranging. I don't ever want to let you down, I don't ever want to leave this time, 'cause after all, the city never sleeps tonight. It's time to begin. Don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. This road never looked so lonely. This house doesn't burn down slowly to ashes, to ashes. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit. You get the gist of the rest. And that is It's Time by Imagine Dragons. As I said, there's a little bit more detail and explanation on my Buy Me a Coffee page, including some materials to help you learn this song and build it together as an arrangement. So don't forget to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe on Buy Me a Coffee, YouTube, all that jazz, and I will see you the next time.